A very good evening. This is Avinindra Som and you're listening to the News Roundup on Gold FM.
The top story on Gold FM.
The central bank announced today that the targeted inflation of 5% will be achieved earlier than anticipated due to the recent hike in energy prices. This was announced at a media briefing today by the central bank with Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe in attendance. In February, inflation was recorded at 1.6% and the target inflation of 5% was slated to be achieved in the third quarter of the year. But with the recent hike in energy prices following the disruption in the Middle East, the central bank expects to achieve the 5% inflation in the second quarter and also for it to stay there from there on. Further, owing to the prevailing low inflation, the Monetary Policy Board also decided to maintain the overnight policy rate at the current 7.75%. As for inflation in March, the governor believes that it will be around 2% and had this exchange with our staff reporter about maintaining inflation at 5%.
In terms of inflation, we have good space for us to absorb this external shock to the inflation because this advantage of running low inflation compared to target. So that's one point. Other point also in terms of reserve buffer compared to where we were during the last couple of years. We were in the highest position, 7.3 billion end of February. This is also a better position. It has created some space for us to absorb this kind of external shock for a period. This prevail a long period, that's still uncertain. But right now we are in a better position compared to reserves and the inflation. And also we don't see any risk to financial system stability. Banking sector, financial sector, we haven't seen any significant impact even with current volatilities in the markets on the energy prices. Right now, I don't think anyone can predict what will happen, but we have seen some escalation of things. For example, petroleum obviously very volatile. There's this highest peak and that has gradually settling down, but at a higher level.
Speaking broadly about inflation and reserve buffers, he offered these views.
Right now, from our point of view, we don't see any requirement or we don't make any suggestions to restrict capital flows, the imports, remittances, or even outflows. There are no restrictions. We maintain all what we have relaxed so far, those will prevail. And the adjustment in prices will certainly take care of adjustment in demand. That's how we see.
As for the central bank chief, there is no danger of a slowdown in inflows either.
Obviously, as a decline in tourism services, arrivals has slowed by 17% so far. Remittances is almost as same as even a little higher, but this kind of situation we see people are sending a little more money for people who are living here. They have not seen that. But going forward, and also we have to see what are the early indicators. Whether we see the people are coming back. We have not seen any, even from our diplomatic missions. There are no encouragement at all for people to come back. So still they are probably working. There may be some unemployment, but still there's no signs of people coming back in the remittances.
The matter of an IMF mission chief arriving in the country from tomorrow until the 9th of next month to complete the combined 5th and 6th reviews of the country's extended fund facility program was also broached. Dr. Veerasinghe noted that more significant changes could be expected this time around.
IMF mission is there, they will be here to discuss the new situation, and the objective of next mission is to complete the reach-a-salary agreement for the completion of 2 reviews together. When situation changes, in outlook is different, then we have to discuss what are the new policies, what are the new targets. That will have to be discussed during the mission. Even if you compare number of 4 reviews already completed, review after review, there have been changes to the conditions, changing to the circumstances. That will continue to happen. This time changes may be significant than last several reviews because this time is a significant shock.
This is the exchange he had about maintaining inflation at 5% thereon.
Governor, you moved forward the projection for inflation by a full quarter, and your statement itself says that you expect it to remain around thereafter.
Yeah.
So energy prices are still elevated, credit is growing, and we have external risks rising as well. I understand the uncertainty, but is there any specific model for assuming that it will remain there or around the target thereafter?
No, when you make assumption this time, it's all based on assumptions. I don't think there's any model which can predict what will happen to the world. We have certain assumptions if petroleum prices remain at this level. If that goes further up, if you make that assumption and input in the model, then we see this inflation outcome will be there. If that is changed, we'll have a different path. Right now, based on our assumptions, even right now, difficult to make assumptions for a longer period because of the associated uncertainty. But we can make assumptions is that we know actual what has happened so far. And from this point, what is the likelihood or probability of changing it this month and next month? So that's what we have done here. Then this is the outcome.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
Long queues at filling stations across the country show signs of easing, yet many stations remain closed due to a total lack of stock. Farmers and fishermen report significant difficulties obtaining fuel quotas even as the government implements a rationing system based on vehicle registration numbers. While the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation expects 3 tankers to arrive within days, the agricultural sectors express urgent concern over the upcoming yalla planting season. Farmers in regions like Ampara claim a lack of clear distribution methods for essential urea fertilizer despite government assurances. Agriculture officials maintain that supplies will reach cultivation centres soon, following high-level meetings to manage imports and address the growing rural distress. Retired Major General Suresh Saleh remained under medical care at the Colombo National Hospital following a sudden illness. The former State Intelligence Service Chief, currently held by the Criminal Investigation Department under a 90-day detention order, faces questioning regarding the Easter Sunday terror attacks. Colombo Fort Magistrate inspected the suspect's condition yesterday before authorizing a medical transfer based on doctors' recommendations. Hospital sources confirm Saleh receives treatment within the ear, nose and throat unit. The Tangol Zonal Education Office issued a formal inquiry to school principals regarding the low attendance of teachers at a recent meeting with Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. Now, despite an official notice for all staff to attend the session on school grievances last Friday, only a limited number of educators appeared at the Tangol Town Hall. However, Ceylon Teachers Union General Secretary Joseph Stalin rejects the demand, stating at a Colombo press briefing that teachers and principals bear no obligation to provide such justification.
Now for some news in brief.
The heat index is expected to reach caution level tomorrow across parts of the western, Sabaragamuwa, southern and northwestern provinces, along with the Anuradhapura, Mana, Vavuniya and Monragla districts.
The business news on Gold FM.
The all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange gained 797.62 points to close at 21,868.85 today. The S&P SL 20 index also gained 225 points to close at 6,134.23 points. Total market turnover was 6.4 billion rupees.
International news on Gold FM.
Negotiations to end the month-long conflict between the United States, Israel and Iran remains uncertain despite reports of a detailed 15-point peace proposal. US President Donald Trump said Tehran appears eager to reach an agreement, adding that his administration is engaging with the right people. The proposal reportedly calls for the complete dismantling of Iran's nuclear facilities in Natanz, Isfahan and Fordow, along with the disbandment of Iranian-backed proxy forces across the region. According to Pakistani officials, Iran has received the proposal, which includes provisions for sanctions relief, civilian nuclear cooperation, limits on missile development, and international monitoring by the International Atomic Energy Agency. Turkey is reportedly mediating between Washington and Tehran, although Iranian authorities have denied that any formal talks are underway. Now, in such a backdrop, Iran has reportedly responded negatively to an American proposal aimed at ending the ongoing war, insisting that it will only occur on Tehran's own terms and timelines. This is according to a press TV report, which quoted a senior political security official. Iran reportedly had outlined 5 specific conditions under which Iran would agree to end the war. The first of which being a complete halt to, quote, aggression and assassinations, unquote, by the enemy. The second being establishment of concrete mechanisms to ensure that the war is not reimposed on Iran. The third being guaranteed and clearly defined payments of war damages and reparations. The fourth being the conclusion of the war across all fronts and for all resistance groups involved throughout the region. The fifth and final demand being international recognition and guarantees regarding Iran's sovereign right to exercise authority over the Strait of Hormuz.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Europe's audiovisual sector generated $164.7 billion in revenue in 2024, with consumer spending via streaming, pay TV, cinema and home video accounting for more than half at $83.5 billion.
Sports news on Gold FM.
New Zealand soccer players stated that they are willing to play Iran outside the US if necessary, as uncertainty surrounds their 15th of June Open in Los Angeles amid geopolitical tensions. Iran, who have threatened to boycott fixtures on US soil following the US-Israeli conflict, are also scheduled to face Belgium in Los Angeles and Egypt in Seattle. That's all the news for now. Stay tuned to Gold FM for the latest updates. This is Dhavinendra Soma for Gold FM News.
Sit back, relax,